Just because this property is a great bedding property doesn't mean you can't draw them in with a food plot of your own.
I'm going to give you one more. So it always amazes me, like you have these little cul-de-sacs and they're selling lots, right? And they're getting buku dollars. Me, I would rather take that exact same money. I don't care if I can buy just 10 acres out in the country. Put a house on it. It's if you got the right 10 acres with a little bit of woods on it, I can still go out there and deer hunt, or I could do squirrel hunting or whatever. I don't understand why people want to be so close to the city when there's so many other locations where you could get a little chunk of land. Explain that to me. What's your thought process?
I see it a lot with people that just need to be close to the conveniences, right? So that's more of why you see people buying the subdivision. Now, I have noticed the last couple of years, more and more people are trending to get out of the city or the suburbs. And hey, maybe it's a 35-minute drive, but I can unwind now. I get home. I have 10 acres, 8 acres, 12 acres, whatever it is. I can go hunt out the back door. It's the relaxation. Maybe they establish a pond on there. I've definitely seen that trend start going that way. And to be honest, some of these lots in these subdivisions, you could buy 5 acres all day long and get way more bang for your buck, in my mind, of what you can do with that land.
Yeah, and then you don't have all the covenants, right? I mean, because when you build a house in these locations, they have all these rules. You probably can't even build the house that you wanted to build.
Right, or pole shed. Now people have more toys than I've ever seen, right? And having that pole shed or just a little getaway to be able to work on things, that's big. And so, yeah, I've been seeing that trend for that 5 to 10 acre parcel with some woods on it, so they can go out and maybe they're not a huge hunter, but hey, I just like to go sit out in the fall and watch nature, if nothing else. And if a nice buck goes by, I shoot it,
Great. So you mentioned like outside storage sheds, pole sheds. Does that really add enough value to warrant? So I got that 40 acre property with a house on it, small house. Yeah. It's my first place ever. Would it behoove me to put up a pole shed as well for a little additional storage? Would that enhance? Say I spent $15,000, would I get more out of it by having that on there or not?
Yeah, it's always a slippery slope, right? So we tend to build what is good for us, right? Yeah. And a lot of times we kind of tailor it too much to what we need or want, and the next 8 buyers don't need or want what we did. So it can actually backfire on you. I love a blank slate, or a very standard pole shed, something that people can maybe add or subtract to. I think it's important as a buyer or a seller to just recognize that. When I work with sellers, I remind them, hey, you built this for what you needed. Now, the next buyer might not need all those extra stuff, so it might be tough to get the full value out of it. But for the right person, somebody that's identical thinking as you are, then it's perfect because they're going to save the time and the money of building it now where that cost might be higher. So a pole shed already established on there isn't like a bad thing. It's just when you start to get where it's very specific for that seller, that becomes a negative in some cases, right?
And we've all seen some of the elaborate pole sheds that are that are very, very well done. That's not what I need. All I need is something for my toys, my boats, my ATVs, tractors, you name it. I'm good.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with houses, right? We built it specifically for our needs. The next buyers don't need as big of a master or want a bigger master, or they don't need a walker, or they do want to. So I could just differ from buyer to buyer, right?
Yep.
Deer and Deer Hunting Properties is brought to you by DDH Outdoors. Deer and Deer Hunting Properties is brought to you by the all-new Feed Hub by Moultrie Mobile.
If you just bought a property or have property already and you're looking for a blind, here are some of the reasons Orion blinds stand out from the others. Welcome back to DDH Properties. Today we're going to be talking about the blind right behind me. It's a 6x6 Orion blind. If you can't tell, the weather here in Wisconsin's a little unpredictable. It was supposed to be a beautiful day, no snow till tomorrow. However, Wisconsin weather changes super fast. So we're going to go brave the weather here. It's just a couple weeks before turkey season starts for us and put out this blind. Hopefully we can get one.
Getting ready for any hunting season for the average hunter may be limited to weekends or an hour here and there after work. Rain or shine, the work still needs to get done. Moving or setting up new blinds would definitely be on the to-do list. Keep in mind this Orion blind was placed on the other side of the farm, set up for last year's season. With the current weather situation and the benefit of Orion's modular panel design, Noah doesn't need to use any heavy machinery, potentially tearing up the terrain or getting stuck. Orion's modular design made transporting this 6x6 blind a breeze. With just a small trailer, ATV, and a few clicks, Noah had all 10 panels stacked up and strapped down, ready for the journey across his farm.
In this setup, I elected not to go with the stairs or platform, but Orion has a variety of stairs and ladder configurations for your perfect hunting setup. Another feature of Orion blinds is the window configuration. You can actually order if you want all vertical windows. You can have all vertical windows for your bow hunters and crossbow hunters. Or if you're more of a gun person, you can have all horizontal and be like me right now, I have vertical and horizontal windows. So I kind of like the verticals in the corner and I could still shoot all the horizontals if need be. With all the window configuration that Orion has to offer, you'll have a great opportunity to never miss that deer that steps out.
Setup is just as easy as taking it apart. Orion's American-made, all-aluminum construction allows Noah to assemble it fast and not worry about rust setting in from the elements. With the roof going on last, this blind only took Noah 5 minutes to snap together. Wow, that camo pattern looks sharp. Great job, Noah. Now go get warmed up.
If you would like to find out more about Orion hunting products, check them out at huntorion.com.
You know, I'm excited about the drill, but I'm almost more excited about this. This is a crimper. This is the latest trend that the farmers are using. Give me a spiel on the crimper.
Yeah, so this is our 6-foot crimper. The idea is to come in and terminate your cover crop without having to spray it. Saves you on fertilizer, moisture, spray.
Better for the soil.
Better for the
everything.
soil, the whole, really big in the organic side of farming, like you said.
Yep.
For as far as maintenance goes, there's 2 grease zerts as far as greasing, and then we have a bung hole on the side to be able to add water if you need to add some weight. If you do that, you for sure want to either add antifreeze with it or make sure you empty it in the winter. Otherwise it will freeze and break and bust.
I'm familiar with that. We're in Wisconsin.
But other than that, it's all about timing of whenever you want to be able to get are able to crimp your cover crop to get it terminated.
I'm amazed at how easily that thing spins as well. It's just amazing. So right now we got it on the frame. What's the easiest way? We're not going to take it off the frame today, but when I do, what should I do?
Easiest way is just to flip it straight up and let it set on the drum.
Okay.
And you'll pull your pins. This frame is not very heavy at all.
Pop
and
it
it'll
off.
just slide right out from underneath.
Hook it on the tractor
Hook it on
and
the
you're good
tractor,
to go.
and you're ready to go. Lower your stand legs whenever you flip it, once you flip it up, and it'll sit there and be right there for you to back up to.
So for maintenance, just literally check the grease out.
Yep, give it some grease and add water if you need to, but I always recommend people try to crimp without it first, and if you need to add some water to get a little extra weight, to go that route. And then add a quarter or a half at a time, don't just fill it up.
Sure. So it comes with a stand, I see.
Yep, yeah, you just pull your pins and lower your legs, and whenever it's on this drum, it'll set there upright when you unhook it. when you're hooking and unhooking from the tractor, it'll sit there and be ready for you just to back right up.
Back up and hook on and good to go.
Yep. You will.
And literally,
you will want to raise them up whenever you start to crimp, though.
Yeah. How high do you want them when you crimp? And
You'll raise them all the way up.
all the way up. So Dusty, once we get it on the tractor, I'm literally just going to check those grease outlets and I'm good to go, correct?
Pretty much. You will want to test your cover crop to make sure it's time to crimp, but yeah, anything you need should be available on ph-outdoors.com.
So it sounds like it's a simple process. I'm excited about it. I'm going to use a lot less glide, right? And it's better for my soil and it's going to be healthier deer as well. I'm excited to give this thing a whirl in a couple weeks. Just got to let it dry out a little.
Oh, he's an 8-pointer. No, he's a 9-pointer. No, he's a 10-pointer. You can hang a ring on it, it counts. 1, 2, 4, 5. Huh?
Keep going, you can get higher.
He's a 10-pointer.
I'll be brutally honest with you, for the last 5 years or so, don't get me wrong, I always look forward to hunting seasons, but I've really looked forward to Illinois' shotgun season, their first one. Specifically because my good friend Dan Schmidt and his little camera buddy David get to come down and play with me every year. And that's what this stuff is supposed to be about. I know we talk so much about trophy bucks and how to manage the ground and make your deer healthier and make your habitat healthier, leave the world a better place for generations to come, and that's all good and great. But you know what? This stuff's supposed to be fun. The longer I ride this rodeo circuit, the more success I have, the more I realize that ultimately you scrape away all this other stuff, and you know what? This junk is supposed to be fun. And frankly, what you see at most people, I'll give you a little inside information into the industry here. 9 times out of 10, when you see somebody's reaction after they kill something, it is fake as a $4 bill. Dan Schmidt, that stuff's real. That boy loses his snot every single time, and God, that is a blast to be around. So, and at the same time, another part of the reason I look forward to it is because I've got management bucks on this ground that desperately need to be removed. And Dan, ooh, he's more than happy to shoot management bucks. He's every bit as happy to shoot a management buck as he is a 160. So, and frankly, he's good. You put that gun in his hand, you go ahead and show him this buck, and this buck are all 3 of them that very well may show up where you're hunting, that if they do, you shoot them. And that boy, he does. He shoots them, and then he flat out loses his snot, and then he gives me a call, and that buck is always right there because it's nice and easy to find because he made a good shot. And that is what we're going to do today. Today, we're going out with Dan Schmidt on a management hunt.
So this is like homecoming for me. It's every year, West Central Illinois, my good friend Steve Bartylla, he has us down, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it is really good deer hunting land. It's some of the best in North America. It is a large piece of property that Steve manages, and the deal is I'm gonna go there and help him manage his doe herd and his buck herd. And with that buck herd, we're talking about, people say management bucks. It kind of has a negative connotation. The only real reason we use that term, management buck, is this is a buck that is not going to manifest itself to a trophy Boone and Crockett class deer. That's pretty much it. That's what we mean when we're talking about management bucks. Steve has lots of management bucks because it's a big property. It's several square miles of the best habitat in North America. I cannot overemphasize that.
Deer and Deer Hunting Properties is brought to you by Orion Hunting Products, Engineered for stealth and safety, Orion's modular, lightweight design allows you to set up camp anywhere you want to hunt. No heavy equipment, no problem. Orion Hunting Products. Deer and Deer Hunting Properties is brought to you by Spy Point Trail Cameras.
There are so many things that are changing. We need to change our tactics to stay in deer. Start out the season, it's all about food and water. Mr. Big is fattening up for what's coming up. He's going to drop that 25 to 30% body weight. So he's going to take it pretty darn easy. Find him. He's going from point A, his bedding area, to point B and C, his food and water, and back and forth. That's about it. At that time of year, you need to locate him and figure out how you can set up without him knowing you're there. You do that, you got a chance. The more pressure it is, generally speaking, the closer you need to go back towards his bedding area, and that sticks all the way until you get to, I'm going to talk central Wisconsin here, that last week of October is the peak scrape phase. Now is when that testosterone is really starting to go up. Every property has a cap on how many mature bucks that ground can handle. Okay. By shooting the lower end bucks, what you do is you increase the odds of your higher end bucks not ending up having to disperse because they get crowded out. No guarantee. All you're doing is playing the odds. And this buck right here is absolutely perfect for Dan to shoot as far as I'm concerned.
It's that time. Opening day gun season. Look forward to this every year. It is beautiful out here. It is 32 degrees, just a slight hint of a wind. And we're going to a spot where I think we're going to see some deer. He's not one of the shooters, I don't think.
You know what? It's one thing to say, Dan, this buck does not look like a 3.5-year-old buck. And for him to say, yeah, oh, okay. It's another thing to see it. The first time he saw it, he convinced himself that it wasn't the buck he was after because it's just too dang young. Well, as I said, that doesn't happen to be the case. When you're in a position like this and you are enlisting the help of friends to help manage a property, these are the type of mistakes you really want. You want them to be overly cautious. Turns out in this case, Dan was. He passed up his first opportunity. Didn't pass up his second though. That second chance, now that Dan was sure that was one of the ones that he was sent in to take, sent him right back down in there, and you darn right they made it happen.
Man! He's down right there. He is down right there. I'm shaking really hard. That was so awesome. We saw that buck this morning and I passed him up. We only have 8 bucks on our shoot list for this hunt. And when you're hunting deer based off of deer that want to be taken off the property, you really got to be careful. That deer, he was a mature buck. He had one little busted point, but he's really nice. He's a really nice buck, and I'm shaking. I'm so excited. It was so close. He was 15 yards. He's an old warrior. Look at that. Yeah, he was just a 7-point. A couple little extra characters, and he had busted that 2 right there. We just punched our tag.